is number 3. His title is One More Chance, which is he's using for his big speech in Vancouver. And again, this one is it's a general and specific purpose. It's organized in a manner that's best achieves its purposes, ensures beginning, body, and conclusion, reinforces the purpose, projects a sincerity and conviction and controls any nervousness that you may feel, and it is strives not to use notes, and it's 5 to 7 minutes, correct?
Correct.
I'd like to welcome Jonathan.
Failure is seldom fatal. It is courage that counts. Never, never, never give up. Thus spake Winston Churchill. I saw those words put into action by the nation that Churchill led. As Great Britain stood against the machinations of the evil Nazi Empire, despite early defeat, Winston Churchill gave the people of England one more chance. Failure was not fatal. Courage counted. They never gave up, and the Nazi Empire fell. I saw these words in action in the person of Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon was an American college football star. He carried the football for the University of Wisconsin Badgers. The problem was, he was carrying the football against my team, which made him the enemy. But for a moment, it seemed as if he had defected over to my side. Because early on, in an epic contest between the Wisconsin Badgers and my team, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Melvin Gordon dropped that football. Twice. But failure is seldom fatal, and courage counts. In Gary Anderson, Melvin Gordon's coach, he found a person who was willing to give him that one more chance. And with that one more chance, Melvin Gordon did something no one had ever done before. He took that football and carried it for 408 yards and set a single game rushing record that night. Failure was not fatal. Courage counted, and he never gave up. Now, it's one thing to see these words put into action by Great Britain or by Melvin Gordon, but it's a lot harder to live these words out for yourself. At least, that's what I found in my experience. A few years ago, I made a fateful decision to become a social parasite, otherwise known as a lawyer. Now, some people have preconceived notions about lawyers. You might have run into people that hold these opinions, and maybe you found yourself in a conversation that was something like this. So, Phil, what is the difference between a rattlesnake and a lawyer? I don't know, Mark. What is the difference between a rattlesnake and a lawyer? I have no clue. That's why I was asking you. We have a bad rap as attorneys, I admit it. What most people don't know is that we are very sentimental and empathetic. We have sympathy for people that it's very difficult to have sympathy for. We have sympathy for corporations, for criminals, for congressmen. Okay, congressmen might be a little too far. I did well within academia, and soon I found myself graduating near the top of my class, going to work for a nationwide law firm with a high-paying job, my own little apartment just blocks away from where I could walk to work every day. I was living the dream. Until one day, when one of the partners, we'll call her Susie for the sake of discussion, called me into her office. Now, Susie and I were very different from each other. Different backgrounds, different times at the firm, very different life experiences. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was we spoke two different languages. She wanted me to put together a spreadsheet to assist with some complex litigation she was working on. What she was saying to me was, I want a simple, succinct summary. What I heard was, I want a complete, comprehensive compendium. The last time you asked for Reader's Digest and got Encyclopedia Britannica, were you happy? She wasn't either. Our working relationship collapsed. Communication went through the floor. It was not long before I was no longer at the law firm. I had failed royally. But failure is seldom fatal. And courage counts. Like the people of England and Melvin Gordon before me, I found a leader who was willing to give me that one more chance. Her name was Rachel. She was not a partner in a firm. She was a prosecutor at the DA's office. And she gave me that one more chance in the field of property crimes. Please contain your excitement, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound like Perry Mason, but it's important to the community nonetheless. Imagine spending your entire career in law enforcement. Now you're getting on in years, but still able to enjoy life, traveling around to conferences with the woman you love, and living in your wonderful home that you've worked so hard for. Until that home is invaded by a burglar who shatters the peace of your August and your September and October and November and December. That is what Fred faced. Now, Fred's name has been changed to protect the lawyers, of course, but his story is very real and all too common. I was able to work with Fred as a result of my one more chance. Now, this nefarious person who was terrorizing Fred was also spreading some terror to some other people, so we had plenty of material to work with. We struck a deal. It took several months and a lot of talking with Fred to keep him updated on the process and involved as we sought justice for him. But we agreed we didn't have to have a trial in this particular case. We could agree this burglar would receive no more than 34 years in prison. We asked the judge to send him to prison for 34 years. He went to prison on a 34-year sentence. Failure wasn't fatal. Courage counted, and we never gave up. One thing that all these three stories have in common is a type of leadership. Leaders like Winston Churchill, leaders like Gary Anderson, leaders like Rachel, who are willing to give people one more chance. Go be that kind of leader who knows failure is seldom fatal and courage counts. And never, never, never give up on people. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jonathan. Our next speaker is Orrin. His evaluator is David. Would you please come up?